Pa pa para pa 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 para pa pa sizongoba ngoJehova pa pa para pa para pa sizongoba ngefiasco. Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Tupac Shakur was not lying in his song Mzansi Don't Cry when he said South Africa is a movie, a drama, a series. Because what did we just witness today? What did we just witness today? In many ways, the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry has more explosive information than the ad hoc committee. And because they're looking at hard evidence there, sharing it on the screen, sometimes those revelations are, for me, more significant and have more gravitas to everything that we're looking at. And today was no different. Today, there were significant developments at the Madlanga Commission that I think need special focus. And the second witness was, I think, the most important part of the puzzle. In fact, these may have been the biggest bombs which have been dropped throughout all of this, because they definitely put some people in very, very tough corners to get out of. Because how do you get out of some of these? And you could tell, even in the way the answers were being given to the commissioners, that certain people were in corners and are in corners and will remain in corners. So the witnesses for today were the following. Number one, Captain Maxwell Wanda, the wonderful Wanda, a former member of the political killings task team. Number two, Brigadier Lesiba Mokwena, who definitely is not having a good day after his testimony. And Advocate Lee Siegels came for him. She came for him. So he's attached to the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation, which is the Hawks. And he serves as the sectional head in the Tactical Operations Management section, the TOM section. Then you had Captain Barry Kruger, who was attached to the Hawks, serving as a member of this Tactical Operations Management section. So there are two, if not three, important things that came out of the proceedings today. Firstly, the Madlanga Commission heard that Katiso Molefe and Police Minister Mchunu are friends. They are buddies. They are together in the friendly place, according to what we heard. And this came from the testimony of Captain Wonderful Maxwell Wanda. And what did the wonderful Maxwell say? Did he say something about pretty wings? No, he didn't. But he spoke about a pretty friendship. This friendship's worth, pun intended, is going to be something that we're going to have to really think about going forward. So, apparently, the bodyguard of Katiso Molefe was being guarded when that arrest happened on the 6th of December. And he asked Captain Wanda, what's going to happen now? Because the person who has been arrested, Katiso Molefe, is the friend of the Minister of Police. Then Captain Wanda said, which minister? Honorable Minister Mchunu. And the bodyguard Moloi said, yes, they are friends. So now, Senzo Mchunu has two friends of dubious, enterprise, these so-called businessmen, these so-called tycoons. One, Vusi Matlala, that's what they say. They say that's his buddy. And then now they are also saying Katiso Molefe is another buddy. This is explosive stuff. Then, even more significant, and something that will be quite significant going forward, because it's actually a missing link to the puzzle around Katiso Molefe and his ability to influence aspects of policing, is that issue of the Hawks raid. Thus far, we've heard a lot about the Hawks raid. We heard that, when the police went to arrest these people, the Hawks were there. And I think in the testimony of everyone who's gone up, witness A, B, C, they downplayed certain elements of the testimony that Captain Wonderful presented. And Captain Wonderful, he wasn't always being forceful. And sometimes I felt that he should have been more forthcoming with his testimony, in that he sometimes seemed to have written a stronger statement than what he said to the commissioners. And he's like an easygoing guy, so that sometimes affects the seriousness of what he's saying. But I think he actually dealt two mortal blows. One, the friendship, and two, the information that he conveyed. So we know that there are officers who came when the arrest was being effected, or when this takedown operation was being effected. Various people came. The Hawks came to inquire. Multiple members of the Hawks. That multiplicity is important. There was a helicopter at some point. More than two people came, and it was an explosive situation, one that could have led to the death of people. We know that now. But Wanda says he spoke, Captain Wanda says he spoke to Brigadier Mokwena on a phone, which did not belong to a police officer. It belonged to a civilian. And Brigadier Mokwena then apologized to him, etc. But let us now, before we discuss that further or look at the implications of that further, just look at some of the things we've heard about Katiso Molefe. And he is a big, big part of this thing. What do we know so far? Yesterday, we heard two ballistic experts say that the AK-47 and the Beretta pistol have been involved in multiple cases, including the killings of DJ Somebody, DJ Vintos, Don Tindleni. These weapons have also been involved in other cases. We heard that as well. So these are drug disputes, some of them the DJ Somebody, DJ Vintos disputes. But we know from the Amand Swat case that was a tender issue where they were trying to kill Amand Swat in the belief that he was the person who had alerted Transnet authorities to the fact that Transnet was overpaying for springs that it was getting from a company that was removed from the process. This middleman comes in, charges all of this extra percent for the same springs. And this is Q-Tech, right? Q-Tech is removed from the tender. Then these guys come in and they squeeze Transnet for this. Then Amand Swat was killed. They believe that he was the witness. So now we know all of that. We know all of these things. So it seems to me that the mayor of Hoshville may very well be Katiso Molefe. I don't know if he's the biggest guy in this whole situation, but he's clearly big time. He's clearly big time. We've also heard that Captain Mokwena was tampering with the evidence or omitted key evidence linking the cases to the Amand Swat murder. Right? We've heard that Warrant Officer Kader found some information. We heard the second witness yesterday also telling us what he was able to ascertain and determine the kind of mistakes that were being made by Mokwena, who was not a captain at the time but got promoted later. Wonder why he got promoted. Then we saw the granting of bail for Katiso Molefe for basically Schedule 6 offenses. But then we saw the denial of bail for Vusi Matlala for lesser offenses. So the more serious offenses, fraudulent passport, prior conviction for drug possession as well as gun possession, he gets bail. The other guy was accused of attempted murder, he doesn't get bail. Similar charges, similar fake passport. It's not adding up, but it shows us something about Katiso Molefe's positionality in this, because as things stand right now, he's in a Sandton mansion watching everything playing out. Then today we heard the story about the Hawks at the scene, the discussion about, or the apology from Brigadier Mokwena to Captain Wanda, but it didn't come from a phone of a police officer, it came from a civilian phone. Brigadier Mokwena says that no, it was Kruger's phone. And I'm recording this before I've finished everything Kruger said, and I'm going to revisit tomorrow. But I wonder if you watched Kruger's testimony, did he say that the phone call came from him? Because if it didn't come from him, it's explosive. It's explosive. The commissioners were clearly displeased with the evidence offered by Brigadier Mokwena. He didn't want to acknowledge that he was participating in the WhatsApp conversation because of the implications of that answer in particular. I'm going to play you some of this exchange because it's significant, and to me was one of the most significant exchanges and one of the worst witness performances that I've ever seen live. One of the worst. And you'll see, I'll play it for you. Please take your time just to understand the implications of what's happening in this clip.
It's really just to address the proposition that it was copy and paste.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
I understand.
If I can ask you to look at page 3, towards the end, you'll see there's an entry. In fact, if we can start at the top, there's an entry just a quarter way that says 6/12/2024, 1634. Do you see that?
1634, yes.
Yes. And just above that, it's 1632, it says you added Brig Clanky. Then at 1634, it says Brig Clanky, media omitted. Do you see that?
Yes, I can see it.
And 1634, Brig Clanky, also black X5.
Correct, Commissioner.
Okay. Now, these are not screenshots. This is a printout of the actual messages that were sent by the people in that group. Do you still want to stick to the version that you contend that Captain Kruger was copying and pasting private messages between the two of you into the WhatsApp chat group?
Thank you, Commissioner. If it indeed Captain Kruger copy and pasted the message, I think the printout will come the same as the group chat stands. There won't be a difference.
Okay.
I don't know if I understand your question, but according to me,
if it's posted by him, then it would not appear under your name. Your name would only appear because it's in the content of what has been posted, but it would not appear under your name. That should be as clear as daylight, Brigadier.
thank you, Commissioner. If it's like that, it confirms my participation in the group. If it's like that.
If it is like, are you saying if it is like that, then it confirms that you did participate in the group?
Yes, if the printout is the same as the Commissioner's explaining to me.
Thank you, Brigadier. Now, why did you seek to disavow yourself from participating in this group? It would seem to be a reasonable step for Captain Kruger to add the person that had given him the instruction to attend to this address so that he can keep you updated and so that you can maybe communicate any further information. Why would you disavow yourself from participation in that group?
I will still, thanks Commissioner, to confirm that the communication that I recall for the particular date was direct calls with Captain Kruger and then WhatsApp direct to Captain Kruger, not on the group itself. I'll still maintain it.
Is the reason, Brigadier, not because you find it difficult to respond to the question posed by Commissioner Khumalo, which is why, after it had been confirmed within the group that this was a legitimate SAPS operation, you did not immediately call off your Hawks colleagues? Is that not the reason why you said, no, I never saw what happened in the group? I was not participating in the group, so I never saw that. I never saw that communication. Therefore, I could not have halted what my Hawks colleagues were doing at the premises. I could not have halted them much earlier. Is it not because you find it difficult to respond to that question that you saw your way out as simply saying, I did not participate in the group? Is that not the real reason?
No, it's not like that, Commissioner.
Let me say this. I think South Africans, certainly speaking for myself, will be very concerned that the DPCI participates in operations that are not on record. There's no record of operations. This may not be the only one. Why should South Africans not be concerned?
Commissioner, my respond on that. But, I indicated to say the members that are dispatched, the two members, were not there to join the operation. We're there to confirm, to verify. So if they were supposed to be part and parcel of the operation, they should have compiled the whole full report, as the Commissioner is asking now. But then verification, they arrived there, they met the member in charge, they verified that is a legit operation, and then the member just drafted simple summary on his diary and then forwarded it to me. They were not part and parcel of the operation itself. They were there for verification.
I had my concerns, Brigadier. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Commissioner Baloyi. Brigadier, you, in an exchange earlier on, you said that they, being Captain Kruger and Constable de Gouveia, had gone beyond your instruction by involving other members. Is that correct? Is that what you had said? They had gone beyond your instruction. What did you mean by that?
That's my response to you, Commissioner, when you were asking me, am I aware that there was additional members within my team? And then I said to me, if there was extra members from my team without informing me, then they were beyond my instruction, because when they felt the situation uncomfortable or challenging, I should have get an indication from the side.
But isn't that precisely why you are trying to distance yourself from participation in the WhatsApp group? Because that WhatsApp group demonstrates that there were definitely more than just the 2 members that you say you instructed to attend at the address, and that you were aware that there were more than just 2 members. They reported to you when they arrived at the scene, and they told you when they were standing down. So you were at all times aware that it was more than just Constable de Gavea and Captain Kruger.
Commissioner, I won't take it as distancing myself.
This is an important issue. Maybe let's just explore it further. So you accept that it was wrong for a group of Hawks members, 3 or 4 cars, according to Wanda's statement. Do you accept that it was wrong for a team of Hawks officials to attend to the scene at Sandhurst?
Commissioner, I'll try to answer that question. I sent 2 members. According to Captain Wanda's testimony, he said a group of Hawks members. So there's a different from what my instruction was to my 2 members only. And then there was a group of Hawks, of which is what I declared to the commission to say they also indicated the marked Hawks cars, of which I cannot be held accountable on those marked Hawks cars. I don't know how many members were carried on that Hawks marked cars, and then from my side I dispatched only 2 members. So if they come at large like that, I mean, there should have been a retaliation there. Should have been a retaliation there, and then where could have ended up in chaos.
So at page 14, you have that first set of WhatsApp messages. And there's the one from Warrant Officer Malume Tom. I think we've established it's Ngosi or somebody. And the message says, this is the person that called the general. You see where I'm reading?
Yes, General, Commissioner.
And then it indicates you asking which one. It says Brigadier Klein, and then which one, you've got 4 question marks. You see that?
Correct, Commissioner.
Right. Now, if you turn to the next page, the top WhatsApp says, again, it's Warrant Officer Malume Tom. It says Mr. Mtetwa. You see that?
Correct, Commissioner.
And then he carries on, he says, he said is related to the owner of the house, right?
Correct, Commissioner.
And then in the bottom one, it's a repeat of that top WhatsApp message. It starts, Mtetwa, he said is related to the owner of the house, and there's a picture, a photograph of 2 people, one circled in yellow. You see that?
Correct, Commissioner.
And he says, this one, Brigadier. So he's answering you. It appears he's answering you when you ask which one. Remember the earlier conversation. And then he says, this one, Brigadier. So he circled the man in the navy blue T-shirt and what looks like navy blue T-shirt and navy blue pants. And that is the person that Captain Wanda pointed out as the person on whose phone he spoke to you. I just want to complete that is the sequence, and it's significant for the purpose of understanding who is this person that called General Libya, and on whose phone Captain Wanda says you spoke to him. That's the significance of that link. But of course, you've already said you never spoke to him on this man's phone, and that remains your position.
I've never seen a man so eager to deny that he was involved in a WhatsApp group conversation. Begitele maybe inspired him to give that answer, but clearly the answer didn't work for him. And I must commend Advocate Lee Siegel Ncube for not letting the man go. She caught the contradiction and she went for the jugular. That was a formidable performance. And I think Brigadier Mokwena will hear her voice in his nightmares for months to come. From this, we can ascertain that the version given around why the Hawks went there is not adding up. Because they were already aware that the operation was legit, but they stayed for a significant period of time. And they came there in force, in more significant numbers than they needed to. The brigadier did not give an answer that added up, and he himself acknowledged that there were issues here. And did you notice Commissioner Baloyi was concerned about the implications of there not being a full and formal report in all of this? So, taken together, if indeed Katiso Molefe is the friend of the minister, and if indeed the Hawks did not go there in a normal fashion, this is explosive. Not only is this man, Katiso Molefe, able to conduct these type of crimes based on the allegations that we've seen profit, he's able to get bail, he's able to influence ballistic investigations, he's able to get the Hawks to show up in force at his home, potentially and possibly to intimidate the police who are doing their work. He's able to get his nephew and son to abscond from justice. He's able to get a variety of things, including people visiting him in prison to deliver tracksuits for him. That's a whale. The level of Hoshkari behavior that is being unraveled here. Are these the people who were getting those drugs which disappeared at the ports from the police stations? I don't know. But it seems to me that General Mkhwanazi was not lying. And the challenge that Senzo Mchunu is going to face when he comes to the commission, Shadrack Sibiya as well, and all of these other implicated people, is that it's not going to be like talking to the politicians. It's not going to be like having a conversation with Ashley Souls. You're going to have to give a version of events and proof, because the commissioners, they even wanted to see the evidence bags to satisfy themselves. I don't think that the prevaricating responses of the minister and the contradictory responses of General Shadrack Sibiya will suffice. What will General Shibiri say at the commission? This is explosive. Let's meet in the comment section because we need to unpack this. We need to unpack this.